I knew that when Kanye West was going through what he's going through, I knew what it was. I recognized it, and I think other bipolar people. He is not schizophrenic. For those of you that, most of you don't know anything about mental illness, and you yet make statements or make movies like Empire that, and they kind of measured Kanye West with that Empire guy, you know, the going crazy and stuff like that. But schizophrenia is audio, just so you know. He's never claimed to be hearing voices, so that's not schizophrenia. But bipolar disorder, I recognized it. It was signs. There's a lot of signs of depression, unleashed depression. And it's a depression, I'm sorry to explain to a lot of people, that you cannot explain it. Doctors recognize it because of some of the things that you're doing or that you have done in your past, and that's how they do it. They can't do a blood test or anything like that for bipolar disorder. So Kanye, I don't know if they diagnosed him, and I've been reading all the rumors and I never believed those. But when I read schizophrenia, there's no way. He's never said, the voices tell me and they tell me. He doesn't do that. So that's not schizophrenia. It's audio. Schizophrenia is audio. Audio. Hear. Sound. Sounds. They hear things. They hear the voices. That's what it's called. Bipolar disorder is depression. And it's a form of depression that could push you into suicide. Drive you to it. You know, I tried to commit suicide 3 times in my life. And one of them was here in Los Angeles, California, at the Union Station, where I slept sometime, standing up, because you can't sit down. The police will take you to jail. So you can stand up, throw your coat over your head, and you can sleep. The only thing with me, I was like, what brought me to this? Because I was homeless in Chicago, actually. I slept in the airport for 6 months. And a director of a theater company, she gave me money to get an apartment. And the apartment was full of bed bugs. It was the most horrible building. And then the managers and everything ran off with the money. But my homelessness started way before I came to California. So I started to go down. And when you're going down, you know something is different. You know something is different, and you can't control it. It's like a Mack truck coming to you, and it won't stop. So you just have to get hit for it to all stop. And that's where you identify yourself. You want to die. And my worst one was here in LA. I don't know whether I tried to step into a Mack truck. That's what this arm, which doesn't operate really good, but it was wounded, and I don't remember how it happened. And you know what? I don't remember only specifics, but I don't remember everything. So I was to the end, 253. 253 was my blood pressure. So they had to bring that down. And if they had not brought that down, I would have transitioned. So getting back to Kanye West, he showed signs all the time, and I knew it was. Let me straighten this out too, and then I'm going to end this blog. People that suffer mental illness, by all means, it is a total, like, embarrassment, and you try to accept it, and you can't accept it. But I want to alarm anybody that talks about bipolar people. Be careful who you talk to, because bipolar is very widespread, especially in Hollywood. Especially in Hollywood. So if you say that director has bipolar, and why are they so good though? Their movies are so fantastic. Most bipolar people, if we have problems with our brain, are geniuses. We're not down, or we're a lack of not knowing how to do things and stuff like that. I was a genius before I found out. I was a true diva. You better know it. But I'm also now as a bipolar woman, African American woman. LA was the best place to be, because I'm able to get the care that I need, because I will be seeing a doctor for the rest of my life. I have to take medicine for the rest of my life, and I have to work on it every day. Today I go to a wellness class that I help at OPCC. It's the people that helped me when I was homeless, and I really have fun. I got to start some couple of more classes. I'm also preparing for a surgery finally here. This is what bothered my voice. It took my voice, practically. And sometimes when that happens, you don't want to sing, because you don't want to hear your voice like that, But they're finally going to remove that organ here. It's a big lump. And they're going to, so I will have a scar, and it should be in about 2 or 3 months. So I will put that in one of my blogs, just to let you know, bipolar people are very intelligent. You can't judge them by their intelligence and their bipolar disorder. You can't. Kanye is a genius. Tupac was a genius. They're very, and me, I'm a genius. What can I say? And so don't judge on that, because the people and your boss and your directors and your producers and your actors, somebody that you talk about somebody else about could be bipolar disorder. Because they usually hold offices, CEOs, a lot of people that write books, a lot of people that are in entertainment business are bipolar disorder. So I'm not by myself. So I am so thankful to be moving forward and still taking my medication and moving forward. Let me give you an example. I did not act right, and I was in boarding care for 6 months. So I look at Kanye West being in the hospital, and I would suggest for him to just chill out, get your medication together, because see, they have to make a decision on which medication to give him, and that all takes time. And then he has to talk, get his doctor and all that together. It takes about 6 months. So he probably should just take a rest, and his wife should take care of his affairs until he gets out. And he should be glad that he found out. That's what I'm happy. I'm happy that I found out I was bipolar. I'm happy. Because then it's the things that you don't know about hurt you. But once you find out about them, they don't hurt you anymore. So I think he's going to be in the hospital a little while and working on himself. And he'll have a different outlook on life. I'm telling you. Because once he starts taking that medicine, he will start, is it working? Does it work with me? Yeah. I think I was a loose cannon one time this year in the optical center. I went off. They took me there. I just... But I always applaud myself when I don't like doing stuff like that. And I don't like being that way. And I don't like to project myself to people that way. But let me tell you one more thing before I end this blog. People that talk about other people to me. Let's say you come to me and you're saying, and she didn't take care of her child, and she. People like that, I listen to them and I would take everything they say with a grain of salt. I never listen to other people talk about other people. Never pay attention and beware, because they will do the same to you. They seem to get away with everything, to me, when people talk falseness about you or talk about you. Now, and in my high school, they said Amber went crazy. It had nothing to do with went crazy. It was time for me to stop singing. There's a time for everything. And it was time for me to find out about something that was holding me back from enjoying my life. I couldn't have a relationship. I was choosing real men, not saying, and you know what, I came to this, people said, it's your fault your relationships didn't work out. And you know what? You're right. It wasn't that that person is wrong and I was right. All those men. Yeah, I had it like that. But all those men, it wasn't that. You know what was wrong? Me. And it has nothing to do with my bipolar. There's one that is continually wanting to call me crazy. And one told me that my family was crazy when they were so kind to him. I was really shocked because I really felt close to him. But all of those decisions to even see those men, which I got nothing out of, all of those men did not fit my mindset. I do have a mindset, and I'm very smart. I'm not a dumb person. I'm very intelligent. Bipolar doesn't stop that. But it was the men were not what I would have wanted if I had not been bipolar disorder. Because now, I'm going to tell you, it's not, I know one white guy wanted to take me out, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it because I've never dated out of my race. But they're the only ones asking me out. These black guys, they're the first ones to call you crazy. They're the first ones to call you, to pick and say negative things. One that I was outside with, he called me bitch on Hollywood Boulevard. It was close to Highland. And I chased him all the way down to the red line, and I cornered him. I said, I don't come from California. I don't come from here. And I'm so glad I don't. I'm from the Chicago end. I will take you down for that word. And it was the way he said it, bitch. Did it like that. Now that's somebody I slept with. See, those decisions to even have any type of relationship with men that would do that were bad decisions. In my life, I can see, with the singing and everything, the bad decisions and how I allow people to use and abuse me. And most bipolar women are women that men take advantage of. But once you start taking your medicine, and I'm pretty sure that Kanye will agree with me, once you start taking your medicine, you get sick first. You gain a little weight. You might look a little puffy or something like that. You might gain a little weight, but you'll start sleeping. And just like I keep saying on these blogs, sleep is very important in your recovery on anything that's wrong with you. Yesterday, I was at the hospital because, like I said, I will be having surgery. And it's taken so long to, and well, the surgeon is in Anaheim, so they're going to transport me to Anaheim. And that's what we're working out now for. But I'm going to have surgery. And I went in the bathroom, and there was a lady crying. And she was like in a lot of pain. And she had a little beanie hat on. And she was Mexican. And I immediately asked her, did she want me to go and get help? She was that bad. And she was crying ferociously. And so she turned to me. And she said this. They said that I'm a 3D2. And I can't take this anymore. I said, well, what is that? She said, cancer. And I said, a D2? That's close to 4, right? She said, yeah. And I just got out of, she just came out of one of her treatments. And then she took off her hat and all her hair was gone. And she said, I found out though in February. She found out she had the cancer in February. And it's I don't know. And they did all the surgery and took all the stuff out. And I said, you're still a D? She said. And then they're going to, I'm sorry, my eyes are, because that lady touched my heart. And not only did she touch my heart, I kind of identified with her. We worry about so many things in life. We worry about money, how we look, and everything that's not important at all. The only thing that's important is the love that you have for yourself. And I'm sure she really needs a lot of that. Her daughter was late picking her up, so I went and told the security, and he's a preacher, he's a Christian, and I always talk to him when I go pick up my medicine. And I said, she really needs help. She was supposed to be gone, and her daughter was supposed to pick her up, and she was standing there just crying. I was trying to meet her fears, but I couldn't, because I lived through mine. And so those of you that talk about somebody that's sick behind their back to other people, you are no good. And that's why I don't even carry on conversations with people that have to conversate about somebody else and their business and their downfalls. And for me, and that lady, I had to hug her. I had to hug her, but she stayed on my mind. And she's going to stay on my mind forever. And she helped me that day, because that was the day that they told me about my surgery and the risk and all this kind of stuff. And and all the stuff I've been through and what I have to go through with bipolar disorder. Because more parts of your body breaks down because of the medicine that you take. But I tried to meet her fears, and I couldn't. So one day in January, she was fine. In February, here she's on a fall. Almost from this, going through her transition. So, stop talking about people behind their backs. It's not a good thing to do, because you never know where your fall is. I really hate that I cried. I don't want to cry on camera. You know, it was back to back. I had another one where I had just saw her. She's helping me with my transportation to Anaheim for the surgery, and her husband was hit and killed. I said, didn't I just see you? So you never know from day to day, from minute to minute. You're never that good that you can't go through what Kanye is going through. And it is really bad. I know he wants to just tear people apart, because that's what I wanted to do. But they put me in a room with nothing. I didn't even have a window, and then had enough nerve to give me some food. I tried to bite her hands off. That's how you feel, very angry. Why is this happening to me? I can't think, I can't remember, what's going on. So I hope that Kanye really hang on in there to start taking your medicine, and then some. I chose a spiritual center that I went to. And the only reason why I don't go is because I don't really like being around rich people and I ain't got no money. It's different, y'all. Every star and everybody's there, and every time you turn around, they're going on hikes that cost $700, and you can't do nothing but be stuff envelopes or be a usher, and I just didn't feel comfortable there for those reasons. But it was a kickoff. And I was led. And it was, who the leading and the comforting and stuff came from, and that's why I'm so into it, is my ancestors. I never go, oh, Jesus. I just think, I know my grandfather has something to do with me having a place to stay. I know my grandmother cares about me. I know my brother protects me every day. That's what I learned, and took a big stance from Christianity right after that. And I made it a stamp. I am not a Christian. My spirituality is so real. It's more real than that. Christianity takes stuff and spread it. Good and evil. Where the African religion is like one line, one God, one. Listen to Mercy Johnson on my timeline. How do you feel when she's singing that? She's doing it in her dialect, and that's her praises to God. Instead of me saying you're good and I'm bad, you better do this to please Jesus and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole totally different thing. And I listened to a priestess yesterday, and she was on the money. But you know what? I have a habit of going straight to Africa. And my African friends, some of them have turned on me because I'm not African. But I'm not from Africa. But I still would listen to them first on spirituality, because the spirituality is still there in Africa. So I don't listen to the priestess and the people calling them priestess, self-priestess here in California or in Chicago. There's a lot of them. They got little sects and stuff, because that's not the real thing. You know what the real thing of anything is? When you do it naturally. Mercy naturally sings. She didn't investigate whether it's gospel or anything. And then when they pray or whatever ceremonies they have, they do it naturally when they speak. But they're Christian crazy over there too. But the religion is still there. And they're very natural. Those priestess don't, if they're going to do readings, a reader or something like that, is very different from the people here in America. They try to match up with Africa, but they can't. Because Africa is natural. They naturally do it. We don't do it like that. We got to walk around and in Africa they have everything. Their hair, and those girls are sharp. They don't go, and they do wear their African and represent, but it's natural, and you can tell the difference. So I always seek it in Africa, the information, all of that, when it comes to spirituality. So good luck, Kanye West. And you'll be fine because you know what it is now. Now it's up to you to work on it. And don't listen to other people, but you got a lot of other people to be worried about. You know, me, I have people talking. One girl said Amber went crazy at a reunion at North Division. That's not what happened. And one day I'll say the whole thing. So that's it. Anybody that talks about somebody else, it's even on my timeline. Somebody ruined a relationship that I had with somebody else, telling my private business. And it's not my business. They say she's a dope fiend. She's this. She ain't no singer. She ain't this. They went and told that to someone that I really liked. And it ruined the relationship because I can't trust her anymore. Why would you listen to somebody else? Especially if somebody's running their mouth about somebody else, they're the ones that are insecure. So those are the ones you go, don't even listen to them anymore. Don't do that. Because with me, not only will you be told off, I will put you in your place when you go to talking about somebody else that I know, that I communicate with, because that's not the type of life I live. Get some security about yourself. Stop talking about somebody else. That girl is gone, and she's gone. And I hope she stays gone. Everybody have a nice day, really. Okay? And I'm going to put some more stuff, but not politics. I think we're going to just kind of lay low on politics and just talk about mental illness. Blogging. Ashe.